Hi guys, this is Ranjit and in this video we'll be doing the full review for the Samsung Galaxy Fold 4 smartphone. And guys, this is going to be an in-depth review, so it's going to be big, but I understand not everybody wants to watch the entire video, so I'll have it in chapters, and in fact at the end of the video I'll also have a quick summary to summarize what do I feel about this smartphone. So if you're just interested in that, you can go to the end part of the video. In fact, I have made a lot of notes, as you can see, about 5 pages of notes, so we'll be going over all those aspects so that you can make an informed decision. And guys, I didn't make this video just after using this device for a day or two or something like that. I've actually used this device now for almost 19 days, and I'm making the video after that. In fact, if you guys know, I have been a user of the Fold 3 also, so I'll be making some references towards the Fold 3, what in areas where I feel they have improved or whatever. And to give you an idea, this is the Fold 3, the older one, and this is the Fold 4, with the wallpaper you can add, and even the cover screen is slightly wider on this one. Okay, first thing is regarding the physical overview and the screen. Again, guys, it's almost the same size, technically speaking. This is also a 6.2 inch screen. This is also, the old one was 6.2 inch screen, but in width, as I've told you, the Fold 4 is definitely wider, so definitely a lot more easier to use. In fact, I noticed that unconsciously I was using the outer screen a lot more compared to the Fold 3. So that is one thing. Inner is the same 7.6 inch. Slight difference in aspect ratio, but not a big deal, I would say. Big deal of a difference. As you can see, this is slightly actually smaller in height, surprisingly, but again, not a big deal in terms of screen size. 7.6 inch screen that you're getting on this one. And the back glass I like. Again, this is again what do you say, matte kind of a finish, so does not attract any fingerprints. And Samsung says this is the new most durable Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. Yes, there and even on the front one. Inner screen is again Samsung says this is again that UTG glass, ultra thin glass with a plastic what do you say, cover on this. You're not supposed to remove it, but you can remove it. Yeah, though say Samsung says it's slightly stronger, but even for my Fold 3, this has been working well. As you can see, the inner screen, I don't have any issues, but I don't just throw around my phones like this and here and there, so I think so it should suffice now. Okay, moving to the next thing is, again, I like both. Still, both inner screen and the cover screen both are actually 120 hertz, and again they are pretty bright, so I did not have any issues in outdoor condition. Okay, let's move to the next thing, that is how's the in-hand feel of these devices. Again, guys, these are actually heavy devices. If you notice, these are indirectly two phones sandwiched between each other. Yes, the Fold 4 is the lightest in the Fold series, but still it's 263 grams. So if you're coming from a regular phone, you will notice the weight, but again, it is lighter than the Fold 3. I was using the Fold 3, so I felt this to be lighter, but again, if you're coming from a normal phone, yes, these are actually a heavy phone. One thing to note is that though these are very heavy phones, in this you'll be using this phone like this, and for taking calls you'll be using it like this, so it's actually very comfortable to hold in a single hand because it's actually not that super wide. So that way, if you just hold the phone like this, I feel the grip is very good, and it's actually comfortable for actually long calls also, because it's not super wide. Most of the regular phones are getting actually super wide, so that way it is okay. But again, weight almost will take you about 2 weeks to get used to the heavier weight. Okay, one thing that I do not like, and I think so this is a bad thing, I liked it more on the Fold 3. If you notice, this outer this bezel kind of a thing, they have a different kind of a coating. It's shiny kind of a coating or something like that, and this is actually slippery. I felt it was better on the Fold 3. It had the same color of the product that you have, and so this I feel was a better design compared to this one. This I do not like. Again, that is something that I noticed because I was using the Fold 3. Anyways, moving to the next thing is regarding the hinge mechanism. Again, Samsung always in these folds tries to play around with the hinge, and definitely the hinge is a lot stiffer on the Fold 4, and it can stay in n number of positions way more easily compared to the Fold 3. Don't get me wrong, even the Fold 3 hinge is good enough. I don't have a problem. Still, it is decently stiff, but when I completely here, it has a little bit more easier flex, and when you're closing also, this actually closes very easily, as you can see. This one does have quite a bit of resistance also when you're closing, and so Hinge definitely a lot more stiffer, I would say. So I think so the Hinge improvement what Samsung is calling, you will notice that when you open the Fold 3 versus the Fold 4. Now moving to the next thing, that is regarding the processor. Here I'm very happy because all the Flip 3, Fold 3, both of them actually come with the new Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 SoC, and this is a gem of a processor. This is also based on 4 nanometer process, but again it is optimized very well. In fact, one of the best flagship processor from Qualcomm in the last couple of years. Yes, it's that good, and it shows in the performance. Performance is not an issue. Even the Fold 3, the performance is not an issue. The Snapdragon 888 last year, it handles everything fine. But one thing I noticed is that in terms of battery life, this processor is far more efficient. And in fact, I'm getting 1 hour, almost 1 to slightly more than 1 hour of SOT compared to the Fold 3. So that way, the processor is really good. Anything you throw on it, it will handle it. And it also does not get very hot with normal users. Yes, obviously, if you use the camera for extended periods of time and play around with the, games and stuff, it gets slightly warm at the back, but nothing to be worried. So that way, I like the processor that is used. Gem of a processor, I have noticed. And in fact, as I've told you, because of that, also the battery life has increased. In fact, I'll talk about one more thing. I think so the battery life has increased because of one more reason, but let's move to the next section, and that is regarding the crease. The crease is still visible, as you can see. If you look like this, if you're just watching a movie or something, you don't notice it, but at angles, if light is reflecting, this crease is still there. This is almost the same case even with the Fold 3. Again, as you can see, if you move around to an angle, so that actually hasn't decreased, I would say, on the Fold 4. If you're thinking that this would have decreased, no. For example, some of the Oppo ones and even the Xiaomi one have a lot less crease, and I did a little bit of digging. Why couldn't Samsung do this one? And I came to know that it is because of the water protection IPX rating that this have. In fact, the way the Hinge is, if you try to remove that, center crease a lot, you have to modify the hinge, and by doing that, the water resistance would have gone. So the screen, crease is definitely visible, but again, it's like the notch on the phones or something like that. After a while, you forget about it. And in fact, when you're watching content and stuff like that, you hardly notice the screen. But yeah, the crease is there and it is still visible at angles. Okay, let's move to the under display camera. Again, if you notice, we still have the under display camera on this one also. And it is like slightly better. It hides very well. As you can see here, we are able to hide it a little bit on darker, and it's the same 4 megapixel camera. Even on this one, it's slightly more visible, I could say, by a very small margin. So it's still the under display camera. It's a 4 megapixel camera, and I would say it's okay for video calls, but for selfies I will not use this because the pictures come out very soft. It's like a skin filter, softening filter that you put with static shots. So it's still there, and I appreciate this. Instead of having a punch hole notch, this is good. This gives a lot more immersive experience. And again, yes, if you want to look at it from angles, you'll look at it, but if you're consuming the content normally, it hides pretty well, I would say. Anyways, moving to the next thing is regarding the network reception. Here again I have to say, and I think so this is because of the latest Qualcomm modem that they're using, network reception has been exceptionally good on this one. Right now it's on my JioSync. Earlier I was using it with Airtel here in Hyderabad, and with both these networks I had fabulous network reception on this. Even when the signal is pretty low, it actually gets the call quality is excellent on this. One of the best call qualities that I've got. In fact, I would say the call quality I got was better than the S22 series on both this Fold 3 and the Flip 4. So that way, in terms of network reception, call quality, excellent. Earpiece also is a good thing. So again, if you are a business person who takes a lot of calls, you will be very happy with this one. Excellent call quality that I got with this one. And also the Wi-Fi calling, I did not have any issues. I tested with Jio as well as Airtel, and with both of them, Wi-Fi calling also very works. So if you are a person who takes a lot of calls, you will be happy with this phone. Again, network reception was good. The earpiece is good. In fact, the speaker speakers are also decently loud. So if you want to take calls with the speakerphone, that is also a good experience. Okay, moving to the next thing is regarding the speakers. Again, as I've told you, it's good speakers. We have one speaker over here, one speaker over here. And because the distance is so wide on these smartphones, the stereo speaker experience is actually pretty good. For example, if I go to copyright free songs, let me just go to the further area. As you can see, it's so loud. And let me also maximize it. This is the maximum volume. So it's not just about the loudness. The loudness is there, but the stereo separation what we have is very good. It is not like in some of the phones, most of the volume comes from the bottom and only the rest of them come. Here it is very, very balanced, and the stereo separation has been done well. And you can even enable Dolby Atmos on this one. Dolby Atmos is there, and it further improves the audio performance. So in terms of stereo speakers, excellent stereo speakers. In fact, I enjoyed quite a bit of movie watching on this one via Netflix and stuff like that, because the experience was so good. The audio experience, the speakers are done well on this one. Okay, next thing is regarding the memory management and RAM. Fortunately, every version of the Fold, though if you go with the base variant that comes at 256 gigabytes, or you go for the highest end variant that's 1 terabyte, you get 12 gigabytes of RAM. And I have to say, I did not have any issues with the RAM management. In fact, RAM management has been done extremely well on this smartphone. It does not boot out apps, and many of the apps, etc., that you expect to be there in memory, stay in memory. For example, Truecaller always stays in memory. This MyGate and other apps and etc., what I've used recently always stay in memory. So memory management has been done excellent on this one, and I don't think so you will have any RAM issues on this smartphone. That way they have tuned it very, very well. Next thing is regarding the cameras. Yes, this is an improvement, I would say, compared to the Fold 3. Here we have all the 12 megapixel camera here. In fact, the camera setup is very, very similar to the S22 Plus. The main camera now is, instead of 12 megapixel, has become 50 megapixel. Again, has OIS. Then we also have a 12 megapixel that's ultra wide. And then we have a new, this is the new 10 megapixel, that is 3x zoom. So in fact, the camera performance has been very, very good. In fact, it's almost the same as the S22 Plus, I would say. Again, no issues regarding the camera. Only thing is that for selfies, use this camera. I would say this one that you have on the cover screen. Don't use this internal 4 megapixel camera on this one. In fact, the camera performance has been actually pretty good on this smartphone, as you can see with the sample shot. So camera, again, not an issue, I would say. It is satisfactory, I would say, very well comparable to the S22 Plus. Some of you have asked me the S22 Ultra. Yes, S22 Ultra in zoom is slightly better than this one, but for most situations I did not have an issue with the camera. In fact, video taking performance has also been quite good on this smartphone. Okay, next thing is regarding the battery charging speeds and all these things. This has a 4400 milliamp hour battery. It's the same thing as the Fold 3. But again, because of the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, the battery life that I'm getting is actually considerably better on the smartphone. Anywhere from 6 to 7 hours of SOT, as you can see from the screenshot. And this is over 24 hours of usage. Generally about 1.5 days of standby time also I can get with it. So definitely in terms of battery life, it has improved quite a lot compared to the Fold 3. And I think that this is due to two things. One is the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 SoC, which is far more efficient. And second thing is actually the panel that they're using here. This is the first time actually Samsung is using this panel on any Samsung smartphone. This is supposed to be the new Eco 2 panel, and this is supposed to be 25% more efficient than the panel used on the Fold 3. So that is a huge thing. 25% gain power efficiency is a huge gain. And because of the processor and the new panel that they're using, I think so, that's why we are getting far better battery life. So battery life is actually not an issue. In fact, I heard that this Eco 2 panel, this is the latest from Samsung, will be used in the Galaxy S23 series also. Anyways, moving to the next thing is regarding the new Android L that you get. This comes with Android 12L, and this is designed for tablets and stuff. And if you notice, this mostly works in the inner screen. And if I open any app, as you can see, we are getting a taskbar over here, and we can actually very quickly switch between apps directly from here. So this is excellent, I would say, for quick multitasking and stuff like this. So that makes a big difference, and even split screen and all this thing. So this is because of Android L that you're getting. So multitasking has always been a strength of this one, and now because of this taskbar edition, I feel it has further improved. In fact, it has been working very well on this one. I hope other manufacturers also with the new tablets and stuff actually embrace this Android L series. So that way it's very good. And again, as it's a foldable, you still have the flex mode. You can fold it like this, have part of the screen use this, for example, works with YouTube and all those things very well. If I have it like this, let me just go back. I can go here and I just do this, and you can do the bottom part like this. Apart from this, I didn't use this a lot, but what I used a lot is, let me just go back, the cover screen. In fact, here, if you notice, I use it like a stand. Many times, I just, when I'm watching videos, etc. on the bed, I just keep it like this. You're hands free and you're able to watch it. So I use this a lot. And again, the hinge is a lot stiffer, so stays at almost any position that you want. So that is the cover screen. In fact, as I've told you, I use the cover screen quite a bit on this smartphone, much more than what I expected. Anyways, let's move to the next thing, and this is regarding the Android updates and stuff. As I've told you, out of the box, this is coming with Android 12, and we'll get next 4 years of Android upgrade. So up till Android 16, and actually 5 years of Android security updates next 5 years. So that's the best in the industry, and I don't think so you'll have to be worried because this is the flagship from Samsung. So in terms of updates, I'm very happy they're giving the best out there among any Android smartphone. So that's a very, very good thing. And in fact, they have optimized this smartphone like crazy. It's like, I thought initially, because I got early access to this one, it'll be a little bit buggy or something like that. That is not the case. Anyways, moving to the next thing, this is something that I did not like. Haptic feedback, I feel, has been reduced a little bit. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But again, for a flagship costing almost 1.5 lakhs, I expected the haptics to be slightly better and stronger. That is not the case. In fact, this is the whole thing that I've seen with Samsung flagships this year. Even the haptics were a little bit weak on the S22 series, and that's continuing even on the Fold 4. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but again, it's not as strong that I expected. It's there. It's always there. It's slightly subtle and mellowed down, I would say. Okay, this is sort of the summary part of the video. So let's talk about this one. I would say you could call this Fold 4, if we compare it with the Fold 3, this is like the S upgrade. In fact, if you guys recall, iPhone earlier used to have the iPhone 7, then the 7S series or something like that. You could call the Fold 4 as the S upgrade. I wouldn't have minded if Samsung would have called this the Galaxy Fold 3S, because this is basically a S edition, an iteration of the Fold 3, but having some improvements and polish over the last year's product. So I would say if you're already a Fold 3 user, this is not a must-have upgrade. Yes, it has improved, don't get me wrong, the processor, the cover screen, etc., and it's more power efficient. But again, if you already have the Fold 3, then I don't think so this is a must-have upgrade, because the form factor and everything is almost the same, not radical difference. I think so that we might get in the Fold 5. So this is sort of the S upgrade that Apple actually used to do. So that's what I felt about this one. And to summarize, let me actually talk about the summary. I have actually written it down, so let me just quickly read it. The Galaxy Fold 4 is a polished version of the Fold 3. It gives better battery life thanks to the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 SoC and the new Eco 2 panel actually used on this smartphone for the first time on a Samsung smartphone. Also, the hinge feels a lot more stiffer, and so gives me a lot more confidence and can also stay in a lot more positions where you just want to keep it. So that way the hinge is a lot more stiffer. I also like the cover screen, which has become slightly wider, which unconsciously has made it a lot more usable. In fact, I'm using the cover screen a lot more now. I can recommend the Fold 4 if you always wanted to get into these foldables and wanted a smartphone that can convert from a normal phone to a mini tablet kind of a form factor, because let's say you are a big multitasker or something like that. then you can have a look at this smartphone. Now it's in the 4th generation. This product I feel has matured quite a bit. But again, if you're a Fold 3 user, you can skip the Fold 4 in my frank opinion. But now let's talk about, so that was the summary. Now let's talk about some of the areas of improvements that I feel could be done on this Fold 4. Okay, the first thing is the weight should be reduced further. Yes, I know this is the lightest in the Fold 4 at 263 grams, but I feel it's still a heavy phone compared to regular smartphones. And I would still like, yes, the cover screen has increased a little bit, but I would still like the cover screen to go a little bit wider. I will not mind if this cover screen increases by 2 or 3 mm in the next version of the Fold 4, because I noticed that mostly 70% of the time, actually now I'm using this one, and only when I get, let's say, an important document or something like that, I open this one, or when I'm watching movies or consuming YouTube content, I open this one. So I feel slightly wider cover screen will make it even more usable in most of the situation. Next thing is regarding the thickness of the phone. I feel the thickness of the phone should be reduced a little bit. Again, it feels like two smartphone sandwich in between. So if they can make it slightly thinner in the next generation or something, that will be really appreciable, and in fact it will also bring down the weight of the smartphone a little bit. Next thing is regarding the crease. As I've told you, it doesn't bother you while regularly using, but at angles it is definitely visible when light falls on it. So I feel in the next version of the Fold, they should reduce the visibility of this crease a little bit, in my frank opinion. And lastly, this is a controversial thing. As you know, this Fold 4 also supports the S Pen. In fact, in my unboxing, I've shown the S Pen. The S Pen works very well with this one. But I feel because they should have a different edition for the S Pen. Maybe they can call the Fold 4 Plus or whatever like that. Because the S Pen currently does not go in the phone, so making it useless. You will simply not carry the S Pen everywhere. Yes, there are some cases where you can put the S Pen, but that makes the phone, already the phone is pretty bulky, and that makes it very, very bulky. So in fact, they should have a different version for the S Pen. Maybe it's slightly wider or something like that, where the S Pen just goes inside, like the Note series of smartphone. That would make it a lot more usable with the S Pen. And in fact, the regular version then should not have a, functionality for the S Pen, because we have to add an extra layer of digitizer behind this to make it compatible with the S Pen. And as of now, I would say most of the people who are buying this one will simply not use it with the S Pen, because you have to carry the S Pen separately. So that's my frank opinion. So they can have a different lineup with the S Pen series in the future. And lastly, this comes down to the charging. This one supports just 25 watts of PD charging, no charger in the box. But again, I feel 25 watt is actually pretty low, because as they're supporting power delivery charging, we have standards for 45, even 60 and 65 watt. So I feel it's high time now Samsung increases the maximum charging capacity from 25 watts to at least 45 or 60 watts. That's my frank opinion. I didn't have a problem because the battery life is good, 1.5 days or something like that. But there are certain situations, sometimes let's say you forgot to charge, you have a flight to catch or something like that, that juicing up very quickly in the first 15-20 minutes. Again, yes, it does charge quickly initially, but again, it's simply not as fast as the competition what they are doing. And it's high time Samsung improved the fast charging on this smartphone. So guys, this was my review of this Fold 4. What do you guys feel about the same? Do let me know in the comment section below. And guys, if you're still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, bhai, ab to subscribe kar lo. Anyways guys, take care. Catch you later. Bye bye.